Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to World Copper's channel focused on the development and exploration of world-class copper assets in Chile. And joining us today is the Chief Executive Officer, Nolan Peterson. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, thanks, Kyle. Always good to be here.
It was a pleasure to have you. I should also state that you guys have expanded into Arizona as well. You're getting kind of some global exposure. But today, I kind of want to dive down into some of the news filings and the broader conversation surrounding the commodities market. But recently, you received an environmental approval for 5,000 meters of diamond drilling, that campaign at the Escalonas in Chile there. Do you want to break that down for us?
Yeah, so that was a very big milestone for the project, as you know, or as your viewers may know. We released the preliminary economic assessment results a few weeks before that. It was kind of a demonstration of what we have right now as the value in the ground, which was quite fantastic. Again, and just a reminder quickly, 1.5 billion after tax at $3.60 with a 46% internal rate of return. Fantastic asset. What's the next step for us? Well, the first thing we want to do is to just make sure that it's not actually, or sorry, to make sure that it's bigger than it currently is, and explore that opportunity. So we went through the permitting process to allow us to do an expansion campaign of what we call the Mancha Amarilla. So I don't have a map in front of me, but what the viewers should envision is the main resource, and then immediately to the south of that, a potential package of land. So I mean immediately, like you can walk from where our resource is onto the undrilled portion that is potentially as large as the main resource is right now that has been undrilled. So our geologists believe that that Mancha Amarilla is just a second half of a larger resource that's only been half drilled to this point. So the first thing we want to do is to prove that the mineralogy continues from the north to the south, and then we could be potentially looking at a much larger deposit, even bigger than the fantastic deposit we already have, that opens up incredible opportunities for making the project bigger, more economic, and just more profitable overall.
Now, in that exploration cycle there between your multitude of projects, you just want to update people on where the drill program currently sits as you guys kind of just start kicking off this new big program?
Yeah, so we just started that program last week. We've made some good progress, and we're going to drill as long as we can before the seasons change in Chile. It's looking good right now. We anticipate being able to get all the program done before we have to pull out. But basically, we're at the early stages of the project drilling. We expect to get the results in our summer that we can share with the market at that time.
All right, so we'll just be patient there, but at least you guys are getting some good feedback just from the general locating of the sites there. But kind of expanding on this conversation here, as I kind of joked about coming into this, is that commodities have basically become the new FANG stocks. And outside of the publicly traded companies, I mean, we just saw this incredible short squeeze on things like nickel, but even copper right now is holding its 30-year high at $4.70 per pound. Do you have any insights on the commodities market?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely obviously very focused on copper all the time. I get questions about it. We're very bullish on copper at World Copper. I'm very bullish on copper. I had the opportunity when I was before taking this role to actually take similar roles at gold companies. I like gold. I worked in gold for much of my career, but I really think copper is the place to be. The supply and demand fundamentals. Not only do you have high demand coming from electrification, decarbonization, changes in the global economy, the so-called green revolution, but at the same time, you have supply issues from dwindling reserves, lower grades that lead to higher costs of production, instability in the world. For example, one thing I point out to people is Russia is actually a very large supplier of refined copper. From their smelters, and actually a large exporter of copper as well, of ore. So, when you look at sanctions that are in place right now, I don't want to get too much into talking about that, but it creates uncertainty for investors and uncertainty of advancing future projects in certain jurisdictions that can lead it to challenges that the global supply chain of copper will be struggling to fill. I don't know if the market fully comprehends that right now, but certainly it is growing in awareness. You look at companies like Goldman Sachs, for example, who've been for the last year calling copper the new oil. projecting potentially $7 copper prices by 2025. And as you said, we're at all-time highs right now, and we've been here basically for the last 6 months or so with no relief in sight. So yeah, very bullish on copper. I think it is a fantastic space to be in, as well as the general commodity market. And you should be looking at opportunities like World Copper that general market is not fully aware of and hasn't priced in the upside yet.
Yeah, I was going to say from a value setup standpoint, it seems like the real value is kind of in the junior exploration companies, because even the top 50 miners are seeing cash flows they've never seen in their history, even based off the current precious metal prices. But when you go into the junior mining sector, where basically all this future potential has to come from, because even the large explorers are running out of potential right now, looking for acquisition targets and et cetera. But yeah, incredible insights. I appreciate this conversation today, Nolan. Thanks so much for coming out.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks, Kyle.
On that note, I want to pass the question off to you guys. Let us know what you think in that comment section below. Of course, consider subscribing, because as news comes down the wire, we'll always update you here. But stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I look forward to catching you in the next one.